I'll give sort of a rundown of my sort of eccentric list of vehicle projects, or kind of a wish list. Kind of a big list, but some of them, you know, I might not ever get to. But if I had my way, this is kind of some vehicles I would take an interest in. No particular order at all. The AMC Eagle. Four-wheel drive, probably I think I prefer the station wagon over the rest of it. I mean, what you can do with these things, even as the sedan and everything, they look amazing. It's just such a unique vehicle. It's got the 4.2 liter in it. That's what I'd be interested in. Just a very interesting vehicle. Some modifications can be done, but I kind of like what it is, how it sits. Definitely a great engine that has a lot of potential and will last a long time. Let's see what else we got here. Roughly 85 Oldsmobile Toronado. I'm flexible in some of these years too. I just had to pick one. Mainly because it's such a distinctly Oldsmobile thing. But this particular era is something that less people would want. I steer clear from the real classics. I go for sort of the underdog sort of thing that maybe some people like, but they're more likely to be thrown aside. But this is such a specifically and distinctly Oldsmobile sort of thing. And that's why I'd want it. It's a very unique car. It reminds me a little bit of the car I learned to drive on, which is a 83 Cadillac Coupe de Ville, but somebody put a 403 in it. And that's kind of what you'd have to do with this, or have to go back into the late 70s and get one with a 350 in it, because this is just the 307. Doesn't have a lot of potential, but it'd be a good starter. That's what I do with a lot of vehicles anyway. I get something that I think is a decent platform, and then I sort of go from there. But I really like that. I don't care about making something that'll burn up the quarter mile. I like to make them faster, but I don't care about something being the fastest thing on the block. Let's see. Yeah. There's actually one of these for sale as I make this in near Asheville, North Carolina. And it's got the Iron Duke in it. It's automatic and it runs. And I wish I could save it, because I know what's going to happen. Somebody's going to get it, and first thing they're going to do is rip that engine out of there. I'd like to keep it distinctly Pontiac. The Iron Duke is distinctly Pontiac, and just modify it from there. Just see what I could get out of it. And not turn everything into a host for a 5.3 liter or a 350 Chevy. And that's what's going to happen. I can just about guarantee you. But I'd like to get one of these and sort of put a body kit on it and make it look like a miniature Trans Am. And just see what I could get out of the Iron Duke. I like to try to avoid, I'm not 100% against power adders, but I like to avoid them when I can. It's just not nothing wrong with it, it's just not my thing. This is something a lot of people would just kind of laugh at, but second generation Ford Taurus, 3.0 liter. Good vehicle, nice, just a likable vehicle in my opinion. A lot of people find it to be boring. To me, it's just very pleasant and very likable, very good looking car in sort of a tame sort of way. Very long lasting. Decent mileage, especially for the size. It's very roomy. To me, it's just a great overall car. It doesn't necessarily knock it out of the park in any category, but it's great. It's good in everything. So some people probably call it mediocre, but I wouldn't mind having one of those, and a lot of them are still around. I'd like to avoid the 3.8 liter though. Okay, this is not even really a real Oldsmobile, but Oldsmobile Toronado Trofeo. Absolutely, if you look around on YouTube here and find people doing a close inspection on some of these vehicles, you want to talk about a fantastic, just a awesome vehicle in every way. It's got the Buick engine in it. It's really just a Buick. To me, it's an improved version of the Rayetta. Just fantastic. The only thing that keeps it from being a little quicker is with the Buick powered engines, a lot of times they put a really high gear in the front end. And I'm not sure, 100% sure why they did that. I have my suspicions, but I'm not 100% sure. But so it could be a little quicker, but it's, other than that, it's very powerful, and it's just for its time, just state of the art, way above its, way beyond its time. But just a beautiful car too. And as a matter of fact, it's actually a little bit too fancy for me, but I'm still interested in it. I actually like the old Tempos as well. I would prefer one around this era here. Something I like about how they, the seating position and this and that, it's something, it just felt right. The later models were a little bit more boring looking. It, to me, looked like an ugly version of the Taurus. But I like one with a 2.3 liter in it. Just kind of modified a little bit, see what I could get out of it. Decent vehicle. The rear end of it is kind of very distinctive. Front end, very distinctive. Very unique car, and something that a lot of people would probably throw away. It's built on the same platform as the 80s Oldsmobile Tornados, the Riviera. That's when it first became front-wheel drive. But one of these specifically, look at that one. Somebody's almost turned that into a version of a Grand National. But specifically, what would I want with one of these? It would be a 4.1 liter Buick. It's an extremely rare Buick V6. I think they only made them for about 5 years. I'd like to get one of those and modify it. Stay away from power adders unless I really needed to, but just see what I could get out of it. And that's what I want out of that one. If I did need it, of course, you could always do the turbocharging. Of course, the late 90s Riviera, before they made it sort of mandatory that you had to have it supercharged. Because again, I like to avoid power adders when I can. But I would not rule out that supercharged version. Because what a fantastic vehicle. And just beautiful too. I bet it weighs as much as that other one did. You can see kind of a Trofeo inspiration in that also. But you can find a lot of these around and for relatively cheap, believe it or not. Probably need some work, but you know, that's part of it. Fox body Thunderbird. Probably about, you know, whenever this first started up. And I wouldn't rule out the turbo coupe with a 2.3 liter. But I mainly would lean towards 302. And of course, I'd prefer carbureted. But you can always convert it. These actually usually run you more than the next generation of them. There was at one time quite a few of them around, and then they're kind of getting bought up. I prefer that over I used to have a Cougar this same year. I prefer this over the Cougar. And if I couldn't get the Fox body Thunderbird, maybe the Lincoln Mark, was that the Mark 7? But the only issue there is it had that expensive suspension. And I'd be a little bit concerned about that. A little bit high tech for me. But that would also be a possibility. It'd be either or between those two. I used to have one of these. It was 85 though. And the reason I put in 82 is I want the option of carburation. These little things about the grill and this and that, you can swap that out. That's not a big deal. I did prefer the 85 style grill over this right here with the divider, even though I put one of those in mine. So in hindsight, I prefer this. Probably preferably a 4-door, just 302, and just, you know, modify it, see what I could get out of it. But it's just as is mostly. Really miss that car. And I might go for the Mercury Grand Marquis, but the Crown Victoria is so much better looking. For Granada or the Mercury Monarch. Probably a 250 inline 6 I'd like to have with that. Wouldn't completely rule out instead of this, getting something that I used to have, which was the, I had the Mercury Zephyr, so this is the Ford Fairmont. But you can only get a 200 with these. I don't think you had the 250. I don't think it went back into the 70s far enough. They only ran these for about, I think 5 years. But I could go with the 200, but it's just, the 250 is such a, it's more unusual because I had the 200 for many, many years. 250 I had kind of a short run. So that's why I'd kind of lean more towards the Granada and the Monarch as opposed to the Fairmont and the Zephyr, despite the fact that it'd be kind of like getting my old car back if I got a Zephyr. More popular choice right here, Dodge Ramcharger. 360. Probably get in that just because I already have 318s. Let's get something a little different. Fantastic vehicle. I know as good a traction as the Rams have. That this must be a great off-road vehicle. I expect to pay a little bit more for one of those though. Early model Dodge Dakota with a 3.9 liter. Because I don't have one of those, there's no point in just getting everything with a 318 or 360 in it. I definitely like how they look over the next generation of them, especially over, yeah, this right here I don't care for near as much. I prefer this. I don't really care for the two-tone and all that, but to me it just looks like a miniature version of a full-size truck. I don't think it's too easy to find a 4-barrel intake manifold for the 3.9 anymore. I think you used to be able to find those. I think Offenhauser put them out. But, you know, it is just a 6-cylinder anyway, so whatever you could get would help. This mouse is acting crazy. Early model Ford Explorer. My brother used to have one of these, and there's a lot of the 90s Fords, and this would be true of the Tauruses too. A lot of nitpicky little problems. A lot of nitpicky little problems that you have with them. And one second, it's a little strange TV started playing in the other room. I'm not ready to do the paranormal videos yet. Anyway, my brother used to have one of these, and as I was saying, a lot of the 90s vehicles the Ford vehicles have a lot of little nitpicky problems. These are real common about the windows not working right, the door handle's not working right. They can be a pain in the butt, and it's, like I said, it's true about the Tauruses as well, probably all Ford vehicles around that era. And I'm sure that put a lot of people off. It is aggravating. I mean, just a whole list of little things that ain't gonna stop the vehicle from going and, you know, stop it from being a good vehicle, but aggravating things. So you have to go through a lot of those, and he has had a lot of those issues also. And of course, the 4-wheel drive can be a little problematic, but good vehicle, hands down one of the best V6s ever built. To me, Ford built about 3 good V6s, the 4.0 and 2.9, and the Cologne V6s, and the 3.0 V6. And the rest of them I just don't particularly care for, especially the Essex. But this had the 4.0, and I don't know, there's some of them that had the 302. The funny thing, they had these spin-offs. They had the Mazda Navajo, and I don't know if it was exactly like the Ford Explorer or not. I know they had the Mercury Mountaineer. The funny thing about the Mountaineers, I don't know why this is true, but every Mountaineer I've seen has been all-wheel drive with a 302. I've not seen any other variations of it. It's like if you got the Mountaineer, that's the only options. That's probably not accurate, but that's just what I've noticed. But anyway, that would be on the list. And probably the dorkiest one yet, the Ford Aerostar. 3.0 or 4.0. So you got 2 good engine options, at least when they drop the 4-cylinder, which is nowhere a good engine, but not strong enough to pull this kind of weight, even the smaller ones. I'd prefer the full-size one. I don't necessarily care about having the all-wheel drive. Definitely wouldn't turn it down, but this would be a great vehicle, I'm sure. And they're getting a little bit harder to find as well, but this would be worth it. So not only are these things that I'm interested in, but these are things that, from my knowledge, and I'm not a mechanic, But from my knowledge, I would recommend. This is just been my eccentric, weird little list. You're not going to see Dodge Chargers and, you know, Chevy Camaros and Olds 442 and all this different stuff. Somebody's going to take care of those. I like to get the more unique things. Some people call them boring or plain. There's a whole demographic, huge following for this other stuff. I don't have to add anything to that. I like to go after the things that people care about a little bit less. The kind of the forgotten ones. I like to call them underdog vehicles. But that's just my opinion, and just see what you think of these. What opinions you have of them. I know some of them have, like the Iron Duke, for example. A lot of people like them. A lot of people don't like them. A lot of these, you don't really hear a lot of bad words about. They're just not excited about a lot of them. So that's my list, and just see what you think.